Welcome back to the Loss Prevention News Network. I'm Amber Bradley here with my co-MC, Joe LaRocca, and we haven't even been hitting our Twitter handles this time.
No, we haven't.
We just tweeted, though.
So we just tweeted, so you can always follow Amber at My Calibration, or I'm on at LaRocca J. And of course, we're both on LinkedIn,
That's
Twitter,
right. Yep.
not Facebook. We're on Facebook, but
Yeah,
don't friend us on Facebook. No.
Very strict policy
Very
Joe
strict.
has on that.
Yes.
Yes.
You too.
Friends only. It's me too. I
Yeah.
know, but I thought I would just.
And survey says most people are pretty strict.
Yeah, most
about that.
people are. No
Yeah.
work on Facebook. People don't like it.
No.
So, turning to the serious with you, because we promised our audience that we would get into it, right? Diving into your in-depth experience.
We would like argue on camera?
No,
or
of course not. We could never do that.
No, of course not.
Because we're like kindred spirits on the LPNN here.
Yeah, of course.
The 2 times we see each other a year.
Right. Exactly.
Or every day when we film this live.
That's right. Yes.
The magic
Wearing
of,
the exact same clothes
That's right.
every day.
That's right. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll have a wardrobe change. So, taking a look at NRF's most recent shrink study out. As a former NRF representative, you probably have the inside track to this data set. So we wanted to get your take on the most recent numbers. What do you got for us?
Well, I think to start, the National Retail Security Survey was released last week, so mid-June. And the numbers were in line with, I think, what a lot of experts thought. We've seen a rise in external crime across the country, certainly in petty and grand larceny crimes in the stores, and also on the organized retail crime front. So for the 3rd year in a row, external crime has outpaced internal, which think
is really different.
Which is different
long-term past.
Long-term past. That the industry has always reported internal was higher, but look, the reality is that when we control so much of our domain, right? We hire people, we train them, that we control the stores, the hours, we do bag checks, we do audits and compliance programs and training and blah, blah, blah. We do all this stuff. You would hope that we do make an improvement on the external theft component. Look, problems are going to slip through the cracks, and the employees know the vulnerabilities like no other, right? Because they live it. But we should expect to see that external will be higher. I think we have some room for improvement there, and I know a lot of people are taking notice of the latest numbers.
Yeah, so talk to us about any surprises. You said initially the stats are pretty much in line with what the experts were thinking, but any surprises?
Well, I think surprise-wise, I think on the median level that most retailers are holding flat on their LP numbers. On one hand, that makes complete sense because you have retailers that are reassessing their business and they're going online. It doesn't necessarily mean that jobs are going away. It's that they're shifting into different parts of the business. It might be going to the e-commerce route channel versus into the stores. But also a number of retailers are taking notice of these higher shrink numbers. We lost almost $50 billion nationwide last year. So retailers are taking notice of that, and some are actually deploying additional resources to combat the problem.
So knowing that, like I said, the former NRF resource here, and you've spent some time of your life in Washington and very involved in the legislative efforts. So we hear a lot about retailers talking about the decriminalization and how that's affecting what retailers can do, both with ORC and even that external theft and internal theft component. Like, tell us, you have any update? This was totally spur of the moment, but knowing that you're still super involved in all of that, do you have any update for us?
Well, in the survey, it does actually mention 2 factors. One is that the increase in felony threshold levels, which means people can steal more without having any real punitive impact for their crime. And the second is just this overall restorative justice discussion where we're basically playing patty cake with criminals after they steal from our store. We're not tough on crime like we used to be, and at some level we've lost the deterrent value of tags and cameras and security people. And look, criminals are looking for those vulnerabilities, but I think the legislation will actually shift the other way. We're finding now with this anti-law enforcement sentiment we've dealt with for years, I think now we're starting to see people call for and demand respect for law enforcement. And with that comes this tighter control over call it the broken windows theory, right? Where every
Right.
crime is actually a crime and needs to be dealt with.
Right.
We're not going to let people get away with all sorts of activity and leave them unchecked.
Because some people might think, oh, well, they're criminals. What do they know about what's going on the Hill, right? But in fact, people and the criminals do understand that the felony threshold is raising or lowering, as it were. So they know, hey, why not take those extra Gucci purse out the door,
That's
right?
You talk to any field person and any experienced law enforcement individual, and they will tell you the criminals, especially the recidivists, the people that repeat their offenses, know exactly what the felony threshold levels are. They know if they steal less than $800, they will never go to jail. They have no money. It's not like they're going to pay a fine or do any jail time. So that it's a revolving door. They just do it over and over again. And I don't mean to minimize the problem of drug addiction and homelessness and people that are truly in financial constraint. But the challenge that we have is we need to give those people help. And it's cute in California that we passed Prop 47 and 57, these state legislative measures, and said, well, we're going to use the money we save in jails and move it over to health care and childhood intervention programs.
Is it truly happening?
It was total BS.
Oh.
We got sold a bill of goods. So,
And this is from someone that lives in California. So truly, he's a People's Republic of California.
So please do not follow the bad policies of California. And think I'm wrong, look it up. I mean, there's been countless stories. Some very conservative publications will tell you it was a big mistake, it's a step in the wrong direction, crime is up as a result. You read some of the liberal publications, they will tell you, oh, well, this is good and it's adding to the economy and it's bringing lives back. I'll sit right in the center. I think every life is important and every crime is a problem. But when you steal from retail stores, it's not some ambiguous big corporate entity. These are people.
Right. Passed down to the consumer,
Passed
truly.
down to the consumer. And for anybody that disagrees with that statement about the loss, I want you to think about this. You have children, you have nieces, you have nephews. They're working in a store, they're working at night, they're working alone, and somebody walks in the store and commits a crime. Do you really want them in that position? I mean, is that okay? And they see this crime and maybe they even get verbally or physically assaulted.
Which is traumatic.
It happens in 17% of the cases that are out there. That is never acceptable. But if we allow the problem to go unchecked, that is exactly what we're asking for.
I think you should move and run for office. Joe LaRocca for president.
I think there are so many skeletons in the closet that the bones would fall out of the door.
Let's talk about that,
Yeah, let's
shall we?
not.
As we turn this conversation from serious to
An-
informal. Oh,
Amber for
and
Congress.
Good for you.
Amber for Congress.
Why can't I be your VP? I think that's a bunch of crap.
I'd make a horrible president.
No, I don't think so. I think you'd be great. But good for you.
Thank you for saying that.
About the skeletons in the closet, because we are getting the wrap it up sign. So we're going to send it back over to our fearless leader, Gus Downing, right now. Take it away, Gus.